sorry to interrupt the jivey music. Before this episode gets started, I just wanted to let you know that we promised you 2 mini episodes about me and Andy, and that is what you're about to listen to. We decided to combine them based on the length of the two of them. One of them was much shorter than the other one, suffice to say. Lol. My one was a bit shorter, so we decided to combine them into one kind of middle length episode for you to enjoy over the Christmas period. So that's kind of the admin bit at the start from me, and I just want to mention also that AYP Spike will return early January, but it will not be called AYP Spike. Dun dun dun. We have a new name, a new design. We've revamped it all. So coming January 5th, keep an eye out on your podcast feeds. But you don't have to do anything, dear listener, subscriber, whatever you are. You don't have to change your subscription, subscribe to the new channel, all that stuff will remain the same, but you'll notice a new podcast in your feed. It's going to be to do with the brain, surprise, surprise. And we will return to the more regular neuroscience-based programming and self-help podcasting goodness. But yeah, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the episode, and have a lovely Christmas and New Year. Hello, and welcome back to AYP Spike. I'm Adam, and joined today by Andy Feast again.
Pleasure.
Classic.
Pleasure as always, my
Classic.
friend.
We are hunkered down in the middle of Christmas. It is the thick of the holidays now. We are actually, spoiler alert, we're not recording this like live, I guess.
Yeah, we are not live and direct, that is for sure.
It's not live and direct. It's pre-recorded because we're having a nice little holiday. You know, because we love content. We love being the middle in the middle of content and giving you guys content to listen to and watch. That we would keep the episodes coming even throughout Christmas, because we just care so much.
We do, eh? We
about
do.
Our audience. But because we couldn't be asked to write brain science based ones, that's not the actual reason. But we just thought it'd be good to get to know us, because why are you listening to two random strangers talking about brains? Well, we're going to hopefully become a bit less of random strangers now.
Yeah.
Maybe just random men you listen
sure.
to for neuroscience.
For
When you put it
sure.
like that, it is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Podcasting is a weird medium.
It is a weird
Just going to
medium.
listen to two blokes
man.
yapping on. And it is normally blokes, to be fair.
Yeah. Why is that? I wonder?
Let's break the glass
'Cause we're all
podcast ceiling.
narcissists, is that
Exactly. I know saying this on another show with two white guys doing a podcast, but you know what?
God damn it.
It's as long as we know that, though, we're aware of
Now
that.
I've got massive amounts of guilt.
You should, and you should. I want all podcasts to start with you feeling massively guilty.
Yeah.
So good. But yes, so today we're going to get to know a little bit more about the wonderful Mr. Andy Feast. Not like it's not. I've said this is not going to be like an intense interview where I show you like, you know, tweets from 10 years ago and be like, defend your position on Harry
sure.
Kane in the Euros.
Yeah,
It's not going to be like that. But
I've never said anything controversial in my life.
exactly, I've never made a mistake. Me, come
Yeah.
on now.
Couldn't
But
be
it's
me,
more going to be, we talk a lot about being vulnerable and honest. It's so important for our brains to talk about our feelings, sort of that. So we're going to talk a little bit about our feelings, but also our stories, how we got to where we are,
sure, man.
why we're doing this, what the whole point is. Because I think this above all else, this company, what we do here is about change. It's about changing people's lives, who are maybe stuck in particular ways or stuck in difficult situations. We can always change that. And I think there's a message of hope, and what better way of talking about it than talking about our stories of change and hope and stuff like that.
Yeah, very nice.
To start with,
yeah.
How did you, first kind of question, how did you get into this stuff? And where take us back, give us the old history of Andy Feast.
Let's do it, man. All right, so, my story begins. A
long time ago.
Yeah. When I did my GCSEs, I was obviously 15, 16 years old, and I didn't know, I say this to all my clients, all my students, I didn't know my head from my elbow. All right, I was all over the place.
Some said they might not have changed.
Some said it might not have changed. Yeah. Where's the progression? But yeah, so I struggled as a teenager, really. I found things quite difficult and challenging. We'll talk about a little bit about why that was, and a massive part of that is sort of my sporting identity and where I used to play football and the sort of career I had in that world of elite football for 5-6 years. And I found it really difficult to not be that person. So when I couldn't be that person, I think I really struggled academically. I wasn't. It's difficult to know, really. You don't know how the teachers were really feeling. I always felt like I wasn't a fan favourite for my teachers. I always felt like they struggled with me, and I sometimes struggled with them. I think I was seen to be something that I never felt like I was. I always felt like I look a certain way, I speak a certain way, perhaps even act a certain way at that age, like a bit of a stupid young teenager. So I'd mess around a little bit and get into trouble and not do the right things. And it was in my January mocks of year 11, and I got U's, zeros in everything. I absolutely flunked them, to be honest with you. Dropped the right one on them. So that was difficult because, you know, my parents are both teachers. It's important to say, like, I come from a very supportive, academically pushy, like, not pushy, that's the wrong word, but like priority. That we're going to prioritise your education and make sure that you are doing well at school. Supportively pushy, yeah, too right. And that was wonderful, and I'm so thankful that they were like that. But I went to it was a comprehensive school, like it was a pretty mixed comp.
Yeah, decent comprehensive.
Yeah,
but, it's
for sure.
School.
Good and bad, like every school really. So that was my school life, and I from the age of like 11, 12, year 7, I was at Brighton Football Academy, so I played for Brighton. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a narcissist, I'm saying this because Adam wanted me to talk about it, so I blame him. So
I did.
I was at the academy from 11, 12 to about 15, 16 years old. So
yeah,
I was there for
I'll pause you for a second,
yeah,
because people who don't know about this stuff, right? Like, okay, we both like football, right? So we know more about stuff. But like, Brighton Academy is a really good footballing academy. I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of the team, right? They're a really good footballing academy. You were telling me they were Cat 1?
Yeah, so there's 5. The academy system, I'm not going to spend too much time on it because you're going to be yawning your head off. But the academy system is basically 5 categories, academies, 1 to 5, 1 being the top. And it basically means infrastructure, finances available, all those things are measured. And if you hit the criteria, you're in category 1. So Brighton, obviously your clubs like Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Manchester United, Man City, most of the Premier League academies will be category 1. And then you've got some in Championship that are category 1 because of their facilities, money they have available. Okay, so I had 5 very up and down years at the academy. All right, I loved it, didn't like it, hated it, adored it, all at the same time.
I think it's important to point out here that, but basically, if you don't understand anything about the category system, it was a pipeline to the top levels of English football,
for sure,
to the point where you were playing with people who are now,
for sure, in the Premier League,
in the Premier League, in the top leagues in the world. Like, you know these people, and you were playing with them. So like you were in the world of. And this is why I wanted you to talk about it. It's like, that is every boy's dream. Like, lots of young boys' dream. Like, obviously, lots of young girls too now, especially with the successful women's football,
wonderful,
which is so fantastic. But like, to be a Premier League footballer, I want to be a Premier League footballer, and I hated football. So like, I think it's a really important part of the context of the story is that, like, because there's so many people who be like, I was great at football, but I injured myself, I could have gone pro. And it's complete nonsense for most people. But for you, you were real, in the pipeline for that stuff.
And it's very nice seeing you mates. And people you knew from that age, and I'm not going to pretend to sit here that I've got them all on speed dial because I don't now, but like seeing them go on to do the things, you can't help look at your life and reflect in a way that you, for a long time, from the age of 16, and when I got my injury, tale as old as time, Geezer does well at football, Geezer gets injured, Geezer can't do football anymore. So people are like, oh Jesus, there's just another Geezer talking on a podcast about how he could have made it but didn't, and yeah. That is basically what happened.
I don't think that's what. Yeah, but that's not the story. Like, it's a transformation of. It's not like we knew each other from school, in school, right? This was all happening when you were the year below me.
Yeah.
And this was all happening at the same time. Like, everyone knew you was really, like, you were kind of famous for being so good at football that we all thought you were going to be.
It's hilarious. Man.
But it's just so true. Like, this was like
so funny looking back at it.
And his identity was that, right? And not to take anything away from like any of that stuff, but it's like you as you were saying, you're kind of put in a box of this thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a powerful story of like the transformation of. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to get.
No, for sure. No, you're spot on, man. I was known as the kid that just played football, and there was another young lad who came up through Fulham and then went to Chelsea from our school as well, and he had the exact same experience I did, and he's at QPR now doing really well. So, to be 1 or 2 people in a school of 1,800 kids, like to be in academies, you are going to get a bit of a reputation for that, and all this ridiculous social constructs of popularity is such a myth. But at that time, because I was the football lad, like it for me, that was my experience of school, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. I had some wonderful mates. I had some mates that weren't so wonderful, and that's just life, innit? But I think to have my identity, so wrapped up in that football world was huge. Like, so from year 7 all the way through to year 11, Tuesdays and Thursdays I wouldn't be at school, so I'd be at the training facility in Lancing. I'd be training there Monday night, Tuesday all day, Wednesday night, Thursday all day, Saturday morning, Sunday game. So it was my life, man. I was saying to Adam the other day, I felt more like a footballer than I did a student or a teenager. Like, you had to be so professional in the environment, obviously, because that's the sort of world it was. We'd go to tours in Finland and Portugal and had some amazing experiences. Absolutely amazing. Played the best teams in the world at the age groups you are. Played PSG, Borussia Dortmund, your Arsenal, Chelsea's, the lot, and loved it. Like, all those stories will live with me forever. But I got to an age where the pressure was huge, and it felt like the pressure was huge. You know, there's people knocking on your door. When we got promoted to the Premier League as the club in a whole, the ability for the academy to buy players from around the globe was just massive. So you're not just competing now from people from the South Coast your age, you're competing with people from Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland and Scotland and Spain and Italy, and all of a sudden you look around the older age groups and you see some lads in the 18s like, oh, they just bought this geezer from Mallorca and they just bought this geezer
and you're like, what, 15?
And I was about 15, 16 looking at these folks, you know, so you'd be surrounded with it really. So yeah, it was full on, and then I just developed a huge level of anxiety surrounding it, and it just got wrapped up in stress and anxiety and worry, and it became too much for me, I guess. It became too overwhelming. I became riddled with injuries. Okay, so I struggled with injuries, and then I just developed these stress fractures in my back, and that age, that was pretty much curtains for me. You know, I had a meeting with some of my coaches, and they were like, "We haven't seen you enough this year. Like, we love you when you play, and we think you're top quality and your ability and your potential is great, but your injury's not improving. You know, we can't guarantee you a scholarship at this point, but if you get back and can show us in the next few months that you should deserve to be here, then we're going to give you a scholarship." So I had a real moment of self-reflection, and I just sort of went like, I did, from outwardly, people looked at it and were like, this geezer just quit, and I did. I dropped out. I quit. I had a difficult few months of just turmoil and genuinely just the sort of early sort of depression of a teenager, man. That's what it felt like. It just felt like I was struggling at school, I was struggling at home. I wasn't being the best son, I wasn't being the best brother, I wasn't doing every sort of aspect of my life I wasn't doing well at, because I felt like I was being stretched in all different directions. So school, I was failing miserably. Being kind to my parents, no, I was not. Like, I found it really difficult. So I had to. I remember it very clearly. One day I just sort of burst into tears and went to my parents and said, this ain't for me anymore. I've got to leave to pursue, if I'm going to get any sort of comeback in this GCSEs. Like, I need these GCSEs to do anything, regardless of footy. Like, I need to focus on it. So I did. That's what I did. So probably, I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it was probably just before Christmas, the GCSEs, or maybe even after the January mocks. I stopped and I quit, and I was like, that's me done. And they gave me a lovely, beautiful send-off, man, and everyone was very amicable, and my coaches understood and were great about it. But, you know, then for the next couple of months, it was just battling questions from people at school, like, why did you do that, man? Like, we all want to be where you are. Like, why did you do that? And that was the challenge, and I battled with those conversations for ages. And I would just get the hump, really, and just sort of some aggression and whatever. So I struggled with that. And then it definitely, that root cause of a lot of anxiety and issues I had in my later teenage years and early 20s, I struggled with mental health issues at uni and all those sorts of things. So I can trace it a lot back to the football days, and I don't blame anyone. I don't blame the club at all. They were wonderful. They were supportive. My physio I worked with was one of the nicest geezers I've ever met, and there was a period of time I was just working with him more than I was seeing my family. Like, it was just madness at that age, really. But I had really fond memories of it, really good experiences, but also some really challenging times as well. But to go back to the initial question, is where I am today. Like, to have one idea about where your life's going to go. One idea. You couldn't be clearer. The strongest clarity I've ever had. I'm going to be a footballer, and I'm going to do everything I can to get there. And then to do a massive U-turn. It was weird. It was a challenge. And it took a long time to find my feet again and to sort of discover what I was passionate about. Uni helped with that. Went on to do well in my GCSEs. Got really positive grades in my GCSEs because I got my head down and worked hard. And academically, I'm quite capable. So when people ask us, and they do, and they have a right to know what our backgrounds and our qualifications, the qualifications speak for themselves, in my opinion. You know, you've got a really good degree. You're going to go on to do a Master in Neuroscience. I've got a Master's of Psychology. So our academic stuff is there. We are very trained in this stuff from our CEO, wonderful CEO, Andrew Wright, wonderful. And the knowledge that they impart, Darren Ian the same, just so experienced and so wonderful, and imparting their expertise and knowledge to us as a new generation of people talking about this stuff.
Exactly. But the qualification is like we always talk about this internally in the company. Like, it's not this stuff is game changing.
Yeah.
We're not just saying it. The reason we believe it is because it's all game changed all of our lives.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. The reason we're so passionate about it, the reason we do this stuff, and a lot of like the reason we do it all the time, and we do fully believe it. It's not, it's not just that we're saying it like we're this is an interesting thing. Like, this has changed our lives. We practice what we preach, and it changes it for us.
Yeah.
And like the qualification is this stuff, the understanding that we talk about, the ways that we talk about things. If you action it, it does genuinely change your life. It changes the way you look at things. It changes your responses to the world, and doesn't prepare you for everything. Nothing ever could. But it means that in those difficult moments, you are better. You can react better. You're more equipped for it. And I think that's why this stuff is so powerful. And I think that if anything, your story is a testament to that. If we can help even one person have the same kind of story you had, who's maybe struggling,
it's worth it, I promise
then that's it. We can pack our bags and go. We're sorted. And I do think, as you were saying, that the stuff we're talking about it does connect with people. We think the workshops go really well and the coaching goes really well, and we're having some breakthroughs and stuff like that. But like, if it's just you listening, if that story sounds like yours, this stuff we're talking about is what can really help change it. That's what we're trying to do here. So
it just gave me the sort of understanding about I've never been sheltered or shielded from difficulty and challenge, and I feel like a lot of people, millions in fact, have the same experience of challenge and difficulties. And I'm not Oliver Twist, mate. Like, I don't have to play a little violin about my childhood, because on the whole it was absolutely bliss and wonderful, and I'm very lucky and privileged in that way. There were just different challenges that I had from other people, because a very small percentage of us go into that world of pressure and elite sport. So to be there, do it, learn from it, grow from it, struggle from it, all of those things has happened. And that's a wonderful time, man. I really did. But equally, it's caused a bit of a ripple effect onto my adult life. But I wouldn't be here today without those challenges. So for those of you listening that are going through something, it's hard to look into the future because you actually can't. You have no idea which way it's going to take you. But I look at it as a bit that fuels me now. Like, some of the issues I've had, like just to impart this stuff and to talk about it, show the vulnerability, is just powerful. And if I could say, I don't like bigging myself up, I don't know if you can tell, but I hate that stuff, man. So like you saying those things are so lovely, man. But my ability to connect with people is where my strengths are. I can connect with people, I can connect with students, teachers, parents and carers. It is something that I love doing, and I'm just fascinated by the human condition and fascinated by people's stories. So if you enjoy people's stories, listen to this podcast. Over to you, my friend. Let's crack on. Okay. Tell us your story, man.
Well, a cold, windy night in Hastings. No, I'm not going to do that all the way. Let's go from school, right?
Yeah,
school,
let's do that.
Pretty decent. I was always pretty good at school. Maybe that's something to do with having teachers as parents. It's just like, I did all right. I never really struggled in school. I was really into computer science and was really into physics at the time. And this led to, the decent GCSEs. My best GCSEs were in English Lit, and physics, weirdly, which was a bit confusing. So I went to a college separate from our secondary school, and I was doing maths, physics, and computer science. Basically, I failed a maths test literally right early on in the year, and because the maths is so strenuous at this level for A levels, you have to be able to do it at a certain level. I was like, it was a slog. Maths was always a slog, and I failed a test just before my birthday, and I just remember that weekend thinking, I cannot do this thing anymore. So I stuck it out for about 4 or 5 months, but then going from a space of being really quite good in school, being comfortable, like in GCSEs, like I wanted to do well, I found it stressful, but I was never worried about passing. I was never worried about getting a decent grade. It was like, will I get an A or will I get a B? It was never a question of whether or not I do well, because I was just an academic kid. And I had, parents, as I said earlier, who were very on that stuff, making sure I was doing the right work and stuff like that. So January 2020, I can't remember the time. January in my first year of A level, I remember realizing on a day that I just was not going to pass these A levels I was taking, and I was 6 months in. I was like, I am not going to pass this, and it was that first real moment of like, whoa, because I would say my life was on cruise control until then, like just school. Easy subjects I liked, and then A levels, and then it's like, no, I actually have to pause, because also it was too late in the year to just do 2 different A levels, to swap them over. So then I had to take a gap year for 6 months out, So that restarted in the next year. So then I kind of dropped a year in terms of year. So we would have been in the same year doing our A-levels at the same time.
Yeah.
Different schools though at this point. And I started doing politics, English lit and media studies. So I could literally a complete 360 swap from the two. I did all right on those A-levels. I did my A-levels during COVID. So then I did a gap year, another one, when COVID was happening after I did my A-levels to university. So I went to university. So I'm 25 now, but I graduated in July. So I'm like behind in terms of my age group because of these 2 years where I just COVID and A-levels where I took a step back. And I think that going to the first one, that one in A-levels, I remember thinking there was a bunch of things that I was not very healthy at the time. I was a bit larger. Like I was never massively unhealthy, but I wasn't taking care of myself in the right way. My summers were full of, my days after school was going home, logging on to like video games like Overwatch and just playing that for hours and hours and hours. I remember summer of that year before all this stuff happened, I remember it so clearly. I woke up at like 10 a.m. I went on video games and I played it all day, went to bed. And that was all I did all summer. And I just remember I remember in this January period realizing that I didn't really like the direction of the kind of coasting, the fact that I wasn't challenged really, and the fact that the challenge had come in the form of this maths and this difficult A-levels, and I wasn't able to overcome it. And I was like, this is not good. I need to make sure that I'm actually kind of being more resilient to this change and stuff. And so this is when I started running. If you've listened to the show before, you know a little bit about me and running. I think there's a massive elephant in the room, I'm going to say, in terms of my story, which is, and in terms of this company and stuff like that. And I think that it would be remiss of me not to mention it because it is very obvious. If you look at my name, Adam Wright, and then you look at the hierarchy of the company and notice that the CEO is called Wright and
I never knew that. That's crazy.
The CFO is also Wright. So it is, Andrew Wright, CEO, mentioned myself, is my dad, and the CFO, Andrew Wright, is my mum. So get your Nepo babies out now. Come on, send them in. Come on. But I think that if I go back to that moment after A-levels and during A-levels and think about it, I think that there was a real... Dad has always been... If anyone listening to this has met Dad or watched a webinar that he does,
or worked with him.
Or worked with him.
Yeah.
Extremely passionate, extremely driven, and genuinely cares so much about people, cares so much about people's ability to change and their moving forward and their happiness. At the fundamental level, it's about making people happier in their own lives, in their own skin, and I think that
it's infectious. If we're gonna have a segment on my boss, my boss. I'm not just saying this because I hope he just never fired me.
Performance review
it's
right
tomorrow.
After this episode.
Yeah. No man, he's I've never seen someone so passionate and so engrossed in it, and every sort of contact we have and they're like, how does Andrew do it? He is everywhere all at the same time. He is stretched in a million different directions, but he is so in love with this stuff and he couldn't be more passionate about it, and that has bled into myself professionally, and I know being his son to you for another greater extent, that's going to bleed into how you are and how you operate and how you do the job today.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. I just think that's from literally as young as I can remember, there's been this humming and drumming about, the AYP was like a late 2010s thing, so 2017, 2018, I think it was launched. I was in school at the time, secondary school, and I just remember I've been obviously around this stuff as it's been developing and growing, and I've only properly joined the company full time recently, very recently, the last year, this year that happened, and it's not something I expected, but I've picked this stuff up by osmosis, I would say, but also because I've been living it, and also because it's been a massive part of my personal transformation from a kid who was very shy, very nervous, very nerdy, only really played video games, didn't know how to talk to people socially. I remember in this first year of college, I used to, at lunchtimes, I didn't have any friends, I used to go and sit in the toilet, and then I used to have my lunch in the toilet, just sitting on the stool with the thing down, so that I didn't, because I was so socially awkward that I couldn't sit on a table with other people or sit in the corridor with other people. I just had no friends. I had people that I was, got along with people in my classes, but I was just so isolated socially that I just had no one. So that that I think I realized in that January that this was not how I wanted it to be going forward. I wanted to change that, and that's part of that massive. You cannot take any of my transformation without understanding the family that I come from and the place that massive supportive bit, but also the actions to do with it. It's not like it wasn't just, they've always been amazingly supportive, incredibly supportive in like so many ways, but it was also like, here's actually how to do it. I think that there's a level of an accusation of nepotism which I'm not going to get into.
No one has ever
complicated.
I know what he means, yeah, and I get it, because yes, your dad is and your mum are the owners of the business, but you are so. It sounds like we're just singing each other's praises again, which we should do because he's just amazing, man. But it's like you are fully qualified in this stuff. You have been surrounded in it, immersed in it. Like you said, through osmosis, it has dripped and bled into you so much that your ability to connect with these students, and you say like in college or social life, it was something that you weren't in the best place with and you struggled with and social awkwardness. Yeah. But
awful.
Your ability to connect now is wonderful. It is, man. It is, and I said it on the episode that we spoke about myself. But we do bring very different things and roles to the company, and your role is so valuable. I have a very decent understanding of the neuroscience. I have to. It's part of my job, a very fundamental part of my job.
And we're massively trained in it. Like, that's the point.
Sure.
We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if we didn't know what we're talking about.
Exactly. And you are no different. Your ability to communicate this stuff is so powerful, and it is just so game changing for everyone that is receptive and engages with it and listens to us. Bring yourself to listen to us, it will change your life, because this stuff can really do that. And that's not bigging us up, that's just Andrew and Angela have just found a massive gap in the market where this stuff is not only useful but powerful and life changing. And the more schools, the more business we are working with, the more people are being exposed to it and see it. And you are a massive part of that journey, man, and we're going to continue to grow with it.
As we say, we know all about this stuff. Like, it is genuinely bled through everything we do. We update the science every time that the science changes. We change the model, we change the things we talk about. But I don't think of this stuff as only neuroscience, because I think that,
it's not.
Thing is, this stuff is like, neuroscience is open source, right? You can go and Google these things, and obviously, especially with academic papers, you can't get to them. But like, the news covers this stuff. This stuff, neuroscience is generally, you can just access it, right? But this is not neuroscience. It's like, it's personal transformation through the understanding of the fundamental power of the neuroscience, and understanding that kind of everything about you is rooted somewhat in your brain and your brain activity, and how that works fundamentally creates who you are every single day, and that you can choose to do things every single day that change that person. If you're not happy where you are, you can change that. If you're happy but that something happens, you can still change how you feel about the world, whilst you can't control events in it. And I think that I just find it so powerful, because it's like a solution and an answer to so many of the things that I've noticed in, like, we always talk about kind of as a self-development, as a journey that you go on and you never reach the destination of. But it's provides so many of the answers, and also so much of the anecdotal evidence is that it just works. Like we say all the time about the 12 rocks, like, if you just do it, you'll feel better. It's that simple. And I would not be here doing this stuff if it hadn't worked for me, especially because, as there's, I think the nepotism stuff swings both ways, because I wanted nothing to do with my dad's company when I was a teenager, because I was like, Dad,
who does want to do that?
I don't want to work with you. Yeah. But now I'm like, I am flying the flag for this stuff, because it is such a powerful change. It's been such a powerful change for me, but in our lives and the way that it's connects with people. And for your story we're talking about, like, I just think is a perfect example of why this stuff is so incredible. And I know I have a profound understanding of the neuroscience that I think goes beyond, well, most people, because that's the point. But I think part of what we always talk about in this company is that we are always learning it. We are constantly reading books.
We are students of neuroscience.
We're students of it, and we study it, and we're studying it like in even literal academic ways. Whereas the entire SLT basically have master's degrees, and the majority of them have a master's degree directly in neuroscience. I'm the exception, but I'm changing that. That is so embedded in what we do. I could talk about just things like neuroplasticity for days. It's not. It's Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, man.
Okay, well, we're not quite done yet.
We're not.
We're not quite done yet. We want to do a quick lightning round of questions that just, a couple bits you like, not long answers. Just, if you were to like distill Andy down into like a top trump card with like favourite this, favourite that,
Easy.
favourite this, So
Not
we're
very,
going to do.
not very three-dimensional. I'm very one-dimensional. So that should be a breeze.
Not true at all. Not true at all. As we've just heard. So we're going to just do. These are the same questions you'll hear in both this episode. We'll start with favourite like music, favourite artist, favourite album.
Favourite artist at the moment, it'll be Loyal Kana.
Nice.
Wonderful artist. So I'm at Gatwick Airport once, which was wonderful.
Not a gig.
No,
Just
Gatwick
at the
Airport.
airport.
Yeah,
Just
just
get on the
come
plane
back
to
from
Ibiza
holiday or something. Yeah, man.
Play, man.
Loyal Kana, yeah. Top lyricist and just the music's just so calm, man.
Nice, man.
I'll listen to it when
I need to listen to him. I keep seeing him, and I'm like,
he's someone else, man.
he's on a couple of songs that I like of artists I know,
For sure.
and he's like featuring, but I need to actually listen to him. I need to do
Wonderful.
that.
Beautiful voice, man. And just an absolute genius when it comes to writing songs. Yeah, that'd be it.
Yeah,
that'd be me.
fantastic.
That's
Okay.
favourite artist, yeah.
Favorite book?
Easily Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Classic. Okay.
It's hefty. It's a heavy one.
Big one.
It's a big old
It's
heavy
the big
book.
one.
But if you've listened to our reading podcast, you see how thoroughly excited I get by it.
You do get very excited.
And Order of the Phoenix up to date. I've just about finished it, so I'm on to Half-Blood Prince. But Order of the Phoenix for me, yes please. Or I will throw a different one into the works. Unruly by David Mitchell.
Okay.
Talking about the monarchy.
Fantastic.
And kings and queens of the past, and he has such a unique comedic spin on things. It is just joyous to
Brilliant.
read.
Okay,
Joyous.
I've seen that one. I haven't read that one, but I've seen
Yeah.
that one. Okay, fantastic.
Lovely hardback book it is. It's very
Yeah.
What's that?
It's good. I can picture the cover. It's like the little crown jewels, right?
Yeah,
With the
yeah,
white background.
yeah, exactly. Again,
okay.
great sort of spin on perspectives, which is interesting.
Fantastic. Yeah. Favorite movie?
Is obviously gonna. Sorry to be so
Star
dull.
Wars.
It's gonna be Harry Potter or I like Marvel, Infinity War, Endgame, top quality films for me. I just like that absolute escapism. That is just, I just love it, man. I'll immerse myself into that. Is there anything more intellectual that I like watching? Probably not.
No, that's fun.
No,
I think
probably Marvel. Marvel films I'm obsessed with and adore. I love Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, man. Just proper nerd.
Yeah. As
I
you
love
should,
it.
man. As you should.
What socks have I got on? Oh, there you go.
Is it Marvel today?
Got my Marvel socks on.
Marvel socks on. Look at that. See.
So-
Come to the YouTube. Check out Andy's socks.
I've also got Marvel tattoo, and I've got a couple of them, and they're awful. But there we go. That's all I can say about that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice one. Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show: Stranger Things. Yeah.
Okay, classic. I don't spoil the new one for me.
I will not.
I'm waiting because I this is not my episode, but I hate waiting for episodes to drop of TV shows. So like I know that it ends on New Year's Day, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna wait till New Year's Day and watch it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Just so good. Stranger Things. Yeah.
Stranger Things, man. Okay. What would you say is your favourite thing to do?
I'll say the sort of typical cringy answer, and then I'll go a bit on. Is spending time with my family, spending time with my partner. We live together in Southampton. I love her, adore her, wonderful. It's been so. We moved in June, and it's just been absolute bliss, man. Obviously, when she's not throwing plates at me, and she doesn't do that.
You better cut all the nice stuff out.
Yeah.
Just having to say those places at you now.
Nah, she's wonderful, man. But she's absolute godsend, man. She's absolutely brilliant. So she doesn't listen, so I don't know what I'm saying. Calling her
This is
out.
how you
I
get her to listen.
should be cussing her out, really. But so start listening, please.
Yeah,
Support
honestly,
me.
someone
love.
let her know. Get on this show. You'll get
Yeah, if I can't get my partner to live with her,
No one's-
her to listen. How are we going to get other people to listen? So, love spending time with friends and family. If actually like activity, favourite thing to do, and I know what I said about, but it is just being at the pub with my pals, man.
Nice, man.
Just adore it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit and pretend like I don't have a drink. No, I do.
That's fine. Yeah,
You
there's
know.
nothing wrong with that.
I do, thank you very
That's
much.
the whole point, isn't it? That's fine.
But yeah, so going to the pub with my mates.
Nice one.
Holidays, all that jazz, man. Just all over it.
Just the classics.
Going to the Peak District with one of my pals. We're going to go and have a bit of a hiking holiday. So that's something I've really wanted to do for a long time. So
Brilliant, man.
that sort of thing. Going to see
sounds brilliant.
beautiful nature and just serenity and calmness and just
Awesome.
escape the madness of Southampton. All right, so last little bit of the session. Adam, thank you for being
The
so
session?
honest. The session. Oh yeah.
One-to-one.
See, it just felt so therapeutic, man. The last little bit of the podcast. All right, Adam. In fact, you've been brilliant, honest, open, vulnerable, all that transparency, all those wonderful things that strengthen our inside circuits.
Ooh.
Did very well there. So top man. Let's do it. So quick fire question. We'll start with favourite music, favourite artist. Hit me, man.
I think you know the answer to this. So
I do.
yeah,
Yawn.
this is
Oh.
this is most of the episode. We're not done yet. No, I won't. There's an artist called Bastille, and you probably know them as the guys who sing Pompeii and Happier. Specifically, whole band's great, but the guy called Dan Smith. I've never found music that speaks to me more, to the point where I am annoying as hell about it. I talk about them all the time.
Yes, I can.
I talk about them all the time. I literally I see them once a year as much as I can. Basically, their album that came out in I think 2016, Wild World, was, I would say, transformational for me as a teenager, because I'd never felt an album speak to me in a way that that album did. So that album, Wild World, is just, if you were to distill me into music, that would be it. The anxiety that comes with the news and the world and the connection with people and the inability to connect with people and the feeling like that stuff. That's all changed now, I would say now, because of the neuroscience we talk about. That album is a work of genius, and I think that Bastille, all day, every day, they have been my top Spotify Wrapped artist for such a long time, apart from this year because they didn't put a new album out. So, but they were still second despite that. So
Not Lord Khan, though, are they?
not yet. All right, they're better.
Favourite film?
Favorite from this changes depending on, but it's Christmas, so The Holdovers is a beautiful Christmas film. I watched it a couple of years ago and it made me cry. I watched it on my own. My friend bailed on me at last minute, but I was like, I've got the ticket now, so I'll go anyway. Wonderful Christmas film. It's quite new as well, which is a bit weird. Normally Christmas films are classics, they're old.
Sure.
Brand new, like 2023, I think. So fantastic film, worth watching. Just
Separate from Christmas, if I could force you to say
I think it is a Christmas film, but I would still say that as a non-Christmas film.
Really?
Because
Wow.
it's not like Love Actually. I can't imagine watching not at Christmas. The Holdovers.
You ain't watching that in June, are you?
Exactly, but I can imagine The Holdovers not being necessarily watched at Christmas. So I'm going to stick with The Holdovers.
Oh, very strong. Lovely.
Is that because I couldn't think of another one really quickly? Possibly.
I
but
think
no,
so.
I think it's because of the Christmas.
Excellent. Favourite book?
Favorite book? I said in the previous episode, Midnight Library, which I do think is one of the, it's changed how I look at the world in some ways, which I think is a beautiful book. But my favorite book ever is a book called Song of Achilles by Madeline Milner, and it's just about Achilles and his, spoiler alert, boyfriend. I think there's a bit of a way to call it that because it's obviously a lot more complicated than that in ancient Greece. Obviously, it's a myth anyway. But Patroclus, I don't know exactly how to pronounce. I love that book and that love story so much that I literally wear Achilles as on my necklace because it's my favourite story. I think it's such a beautiful. I think it's the most beautifully written book. I think it says so much about the human condition. Obviously, it's a myth, and I'm not an expert in how real the stories of ancient Greece were and all this stuff, but I think the story of Achilles and the tragedy of Achilles and the way that it's told in that story is weirdly life affirming and weirdly like very beautiful. I think we all know the story of Achilles, that he had a weakness and it's famous. Well, exactly right. But the way that tells that story is like, you know what? I want to be like Achilles. I want to have one weakness, and I think I do, and I think that's why it's so beautiful. It's lovely. The love for other people. Spoilers.
Yeah.
His love for someone.
Don't trust anyone. All right.
Beautiful book.
Favourite book. Lovely. Thank you very much. So, favourite TV show.
TV show. There's a sitcom called Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, have we never
watched? I love that show so much. I've never loved the character more than Raymond Holt.
There's a guy, mate.
Oh man, I just literally think about making
Charles
smile.
Boyle
It's
from
so funny. Anyway, it's fantastic TV show. I've watched it 4 times.
Oh, look, I'll watch it. I'll repeat that. Sorry, this is your episode. I'll repeat Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Big Bang Theory, How I Met Your Mother, all the Family.
Big Bang Theory and Brooklyn are there, but I haven't seen How I Met Your Mother. That's one of the ones that I haven't seen.
It's a bit outdated, to be honest, but I love it, man. Yeah. It's the same sort of thing where you just immerse yourself in
exactly. And Terry Crews, the whole thing is beautifully done, and it's a police drama about police dramas and satirising police dramas. And then when 2020 happened and all the Black Lives Matter stuff,
it was powerful,
and they did a really powerfully twisted on it. It's just perfectly done.
What is your favourite thing to do?
Okay, my favourite thing to do is obviously it's the same answer as yours.
Dare say family and friends.
Family and friends, man. Well, family. We've got a very tight knit family, very close knit family, which is so wonderful. I credit them with everything. I credit them with all literally. Spending time with them. But in terms of an actual event, I really love. This is my ritual park run on a Saturday morning and a breakfast afterwards. It's genuinely my favourite things ever. It combines the sport bit I talked about earlier a little bit with the connection, family, friends and stuff. And if anyone is interested in starting a fitness habit, park run is like such a hack for that stuff. It's incredible. It's such a beautiful moment, beautiful people, lovely events, brilliant.
Perfect.
And
Thanks
it's
so much
free.
for mine.
Like this show,
Yeah,
which you
yeah.
should subscribe to.
Like, subscribe, all that jazz. TikTok, Instagram, you know the story. If anyone would ever do it, that'd be so beautiful, man. We'll get there, right?
It's getting
All
up there. I'll
Cheers,
subscribe
guys,
as
Adam.
well.
Thank you very much. That was great.
worries.
And we'll see you guys in January, all right?
Have a lovely new year, and we
Yeah.
will see you bright and early on the 5th.
We will indeed. All right, look after yourselves.
Take care. See you later.